Now more than ever, innovative technologies are fueling change and sparking new ways of thinking. Collaboration between corporations and startups is key to staying at the forefront of these trends. However, finding the right startups can be expensive, time-consuming, and ineffective. But Plug and Play is here to help. As a corporate partner, you will gain access to a whole ecosystem of innovation. Discover startups that meet your tech interests. Stay updated on the latest trends and network with industry peers. We will help you during every stage of your innovation journey, no matter where you are and where you want to go. Get in touch today.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Plug and Play Summer Summit Day 1. My name is Zoe Iwu, and I'm the Senior Program Manager of the Enterprise Tech Program. I will be your MC today. This is the graduation day of our Batch 7 program, and we have 12 enterprise tech startups from all over the world that we're excited to introduce to you. So please stay tuned. To kick off our Summer Summit, I would love to invite Saeed Amidi, CEO and founder of Plug and Play, to the virtual stage. With Saeed's leadership, we responded to changes effectively last year, and he empowered us to emerge stronger from it. Please welcome Saeed.
It's a real pleasure to welcome you to our Summer Summit. We are very proud of our 100+ startups presenting for our Enterprise Day, which is the opening of our Summer Summit, following by InsurTech, FinTech, and Health. And then finally, we will have next week, Energy, IoT, Mobility, and Real Estate with Travel. If I can share with you, in spite the working from home, 2020 and the first 6 months of 2021 has been incredible for us. We have had more than 6 new unicorn, latest one being Sheepo last week. But we had other great companies like Big ID and many more. Also, for our InsurTech colleagues, Hypo merged with the SPEC at $6 billion valuation. All in all, technology and innovation has proven to be the solution during this challenging time and the future of our business. The corporations, more than ever, are contacting our startups for being able to work remotely and helping to acquire customers online without visiting them. And we look forward to helping all our corporate partners in their digital transformation for the rest of this year. Hope to see you in person soon. I hope you enjoy the Summer Summit.
Thank you, Saeed. And again, thank you everyone for joining us for Day 1 of our Summer Summit. This is the agenda for today, and we have some great content that I'm very excited about. We have a wonderful keynote speaker, Wendy from Deloitte. She's going to talk about the latest technologies in 5G. And afterwards, we have 12 startups from our summer batch that will present. And in the end, we have a networking session on Attendify, where you will be able to connect with our startups and corporates. Next, I would turn it over to my colleague, Connie, who is the co-director of Enterprise Tech, to open it up for us.
Hi, and welcome to Summer Summit. My name is Connie Weissman, and I'm co-director of the Enterprise Tech Vertical, and we will be kicking off Summer Summit today. Our Enterprise Tech team is myself, my co-director, Nate Hinman, Gavin Lehman, who is our corporate innovation specialist. We look at, we also have Zoe Wu, who is our Partner Success Manager, who many of you have met. We also have Amit Patel, who sources these terrific startups for you and is our Senior Venture Associate. And he's joined by Carlos Perez-Pla, who is also sourcing for you, for our customers, and is our Junior Venture Associate. So nice to have you all here. So what is enterprise tech and what do we focus on? So we have about 6 different areas that we focus on. The first one being cybersecurity, and that is very topical. As you know, many things have happened recently in the news. We look at different solutions there that we can to give to our corporations that can help prevent these types of risks and ransomware attacks. We also look at different parts of your back office, like finance, operations, and legal. So we look at IPA and RPA technologies that can help make your back office more efficient and therefore, you know, having a smoother transition and for repetitive tasks. We also have our growth and customer experience piece of our focus areas. And what we do there is we look at how to engage the customer, how to keep the customer engaged, different types of analytics, and different business models that we can share with you. We also look at IT and IT infrastructure. So anything that has to do with cloud, edge computing, 5G, we can show you those technologies as well. And you'll meet a lot of them today in our startup pitches. We also have our HR and talent part of the business. So we look at future of work technologies, workforce optimization, and productivity. As we go back to the office, you know, having moved from a totally remote situation and now our return back to office, we have technologies there that can help with that. So please reach out. And then lastly, we have big data and data analytics. We have startups in predictive analytics, AI and machine learning that could be applied to any industry. So if you are a partner, maybe in a different vertical or new to Plug and Play, please reach out and we'd be happy to do a deal flow with you and introduce you to some startups along any of these focus areas. I'd like to give a warm welcome to our corporate partners, BT, so British Telecom, US Bank, NEC, RSM, SCSK, Hanwha TechWin America, NTT Group, and NTT Communications. Unisys is one of our newest partners, and we wanted to give them a warm welcome today. So I know this is your first summer summit, so welcome aboard. And lastly, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, Wendy Frank, who is principal at Deloitte & Touche. Wendy is head of cyber 5G and strategic risk practice at Deloitte & Touche. She focuses on providing cyber risk services to the technology, media, and telecommunications area. She's also part of the Cyber Internet of Things offering that Deloitte has. As a leader in the product innovation, technology, and cybersecurity, she has consulted senior leadership at many Fortune 500 companies and startup companies, as well as government agencies for over 25 years. She provides a business-focused, result-oriented insights using her knowledge of products and technology with a relentless focus on cybersecurity and privacy. Today, her talk is called Securing Considerations in Securing the World in a 5G Era. So welcome, Wendy, and we look forward to hearing your remarks.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to speak with you about security considerations in the 5G era. My name is Wendy Frank, and I'm a principal at Deloitte. I am the Cyber 5G and Cyber IoT leader. A bit about my background to get started. I have over 25 years of experience in cyber security and technology consulting, including application development, data, enterprise networking, and product development. And in the past, I served as a chief security officer. As for our agenda, We will cover an introduction, what is 5G, the shift in architecture of 5G, the impacts of 5G now and over the next 5 to 10 years, and various types of deployments. In terms of opportunities, we'll discuss use cases by industry, the implications of 5G, and we'll have a focus on the growth of devices. We'll discuss 5G challenges caused by device growth, what the impact will be across organizations, as well as some of the built-in security features, and then we'll cover off with Zero Trust. So let's get started. What is 5G? 5G represents the latest generation of wireless network technology. It should significantly improve network speed compared to 4G while reducing latency and supporting greater capacity to transfer exponentially more data across more devices, whether they be smartphones or smart cars, Internet of Things devices, or the cloud. 5G will enhance and in some cases transform how we live, play, and work. Until now, cellular technology's growth was linear with incremental benefits coming with each iteration. But that's set to change with 5G. This shift can be compared to the one seen from when we moved from traditional IT to cloud computing. There are several benefits to the deployment of 5G that we look forward to. With throughput, 5G can offer up to 20 gigabits per second data rates, drastically increasing upload and download speeds. 5G introduces the ability for massive IoT, which can support millions of connected devices per square kilometer, enabling highly scalable and densely connected environments of IoT devices. The lower latency of 5G provides nearly real-time connections with latency under 5 milliseconds, virtually eliminating delays from data transfers. Mobile edge computing supports computing and storage at the edge of the network, also lowering latency, and that's essential for certain ecosystems. Because 5G's benefits extend far beyond faster streaming on smartphones, the technology is widely expected to revolutionize enterprise network architecture and to have as big an impact on government and industry as the cloud. Just how groundbreaking is 5G? 5G ultimately changes how data is handled. Building and commercializing a 5G network is complex since there are issues with integration of existing networks, handsets, and 5G. Unlike 4G, which uses hardware hubs, 5G is software-based, so cybersecurity must be more robust. In the pre-5G technology era, devices communicated with one base station at a time, with resources allocated to connections. In the forward-facing 5G technology era, end-user devices will be serviced by multiple locations simultaneously, and radio networks and servers will be managed in the cloud. Hidden beneath the 5G technology, device communication with numerous points on the network and multiple frequencies enables software to play key network functions that previously were performed by hardware. Data is sent separately from routing instructions, with data only being reassembled at the device, significantly promoting security and reliability. This enables 5G to handle 10,000 times more traffic than previous generations and will blend multiple bands of spectrum to provide denser coverage across indoor and outdoor environments. 5G is poised to be a significant contributor to the shifting and expanding data landscape for the next 5 to 10 years. 1.4 billion new 5G-enabled smartphones are expected to join the already crowded device environment by 2022. 5G data will transit and reside in hybrid clouds as adoption continues to explode, and cloud data centers are expected to process 94% of the workload. This exponential growth will enable new ways to exploit data. Global big data revenue is expected to reach $274 billion in 2022 and at an annual growth rate of 13.2%. An increase in devices, data collection, and revenue may lead to additional challenges and compliance requirements. Unlike 4G, where deployment types were limited and mostly built by telcos, the nature of the software-defined 5G network enables organizations to build their own 5G networks if they choose to. Doing that gives them complete control of the equipment and security. First is the standalone private 5G network. It's a physically isolated and independent private 5G deployment where the organization buys 5G core and radio directly from the vendors and deploys it on-prem, while either leasing spectrum or buying their own at auction. This will provide unified connectivity within restricted coverage. In technical terms, it has a dedicated private 5G core and a dedicated radio access network. It's restricted for use by the enterprise. This allows the organization to have control over the quality of service and also to control distinct security zones. It also provides full control over data in motion and data at rest. Second is the hybrid 5G network. This is a private 5G network used in conjunction with one or more public networks, meaning the organization hosts part of the 5G network on-prem while agreeing with a telco partner to connect to their core 5G functions. Telcos enable that by network slicing or by extending their network to the organization's facility by deploying a new base station in a factory or outside a hospital, for example. In technical terms, the 5G core network and the radio access network are shared. This may allow for partial control over a network slice, depending on how it's deployed. It allows for full control over private data, and public data must still be shared. Third is the public 5G network. In this type, a communication service provider will provide public 5G using network slices for unified connectivity within an enterprise. This option is similar to 4G's legacy network, where the telcos own the technology and negotiate data plans or subscription deals with enterprises. In technical terms, in this type, the 5G core network and the radio access network are publicly accessible. It allows for limited control over the network slice security, and there is a possibility for exposure from slice to slice. Data may be exposed at both the edge and the infrastructure. The effects of 5G will extend across virtually every industry, as higher throughput and lower latency elevate our ability to exchange data and communicate. The transformations that we expect to see will be across different areas. For example, manufacturing will likely leverage predictive maintenance, supply chain optimization, asset tracking, automated workflows, and personnel safety. Energy and resources will use this for the smart grid, leakage prevention, wellhead optimization, asset optimization, and personnel safety. Retail consumer products can benefit from consumer marketing, reimagined storefront, intelligent replenishment, and supply chain management. Government and public services will find 5G useful for smart traffic control systems, law enforcement surveillance, sophisticated telesurgery, smart ports, and intelligent power distribution systems. Auto and transportation industry can envision the future of dealerships, remote diagnostics, fleet management, and autonomous vehicles. Military applications such as drone management, guidance systems, AR and VR-based training exercises, as well as smart bases and smart warehouses. And financial services will look to 5G for performance-based insurance, personalized risk profiles, as well as retail banking. Gaps may arise from the large opportunities for growth that will need to be addressed by organizations. As 5G enables new capabilities in the data realm, a value-based data risk management approach is required to enable businesses to innovate and stay current with technology trends without increasing the risk of exposure or leakage. For enterprise resource planning, with 5G rapidly emerging, it's important to enhance growth opportunities. As traditional supply chains are disrupted, organizations will be vulnerable to more potential points of failure. With Internet of Things, massive amounts of added IoT devices will lead to an increased cyber threat landscape with more attack vectors. In government and public services, as in other organizations, governments will need to assess and tackle the entirety of potential security issues introduced by 5G prior to the ubiquitous implementation of the technology. So what can be done? Keeping cyber risk in mind will be the key. With respect to data, remediation includes positioning the data risk function as a business enabler versus a business obstructor. Leveraging managed services to execute transactional data risk activities will help address shortcomings in both skill sets and resource volumes. For enterprise resource planning, we look towards strategy development for accelerated 5G adoption, assisting with ERP architecture, ERP cloud security, and edge computing considerations, and performing security assessments for mobile edge devices in a digital supply chain. With the Internet of Things, security assessments will help organizations identify potential cyber attacks that are specific to an IoT ecosystem and implement 5G securely into existing and future network infrastructures. In the government and public services sector, enabling government organizations to scale their operations due to advanced connectivity and provide the strategy, design, and management to deploy and operate these technologies, as well as helping government organizations to reshape the network layer of their digital transformation, will all be crucial. By 2027, we expect the population to grow to 8.3 billion, while cellular data traffic and global cellular connections are expected to grow to a massive 31 billion connections, paving the way for 5G to play an important role in connectivity. By 2025, 20% of the global cell connections are expected to be enabled with 5G, along with 25 billion installed IoT devices with 5G enablement. In order to sustain long-term user benefits, enhanced network architecture will be essential in supporting 5G. Key network elements are needed to enable large market opportunities around security. For example, data security, cloud security, as well as application security. Think about smart cities and connected vehicles, and also processes, for instance, smart warehouses. These platforms exist, but need to be deployed effectively to support the 5G infrastructure. In terms of radio, Cloud Radio Access Network will provide high scalability to address varying demands for capacity using powerful new capabilities like artificial intelligence and edge cloud technology. Small cells will increase network coverage capacity, quality of service also, to provide dense coverage in high capacity networks. Massive multiple in and multiple technology will further increase spectral efficiency and network capacity and deliver faster data throughput. For transportation, software-defined networking will facilitate ways to automate optimized paths and network redundancy and circumvent major outages by determining optimal data flows in real time. It will advance the fight against cybercrime by supporting improved algorithms to detect attacks and block malicious intruders before entering critical regions of the network. Network slicing will also allow service providers and application developers to envision the ideal network architecture for specific purposes and enable the building of end-to-end virtual networks tailored to application requirements. Looking towards core, mobile edge computing will support computing and storage at the edge of the network, closer to users, lowering latency for essential, mission-critical, and massive IoT device ecosystems. Network function virtualization can replace traditional custom-designed network equipment with virtual network functions that can be installed in just days instead of months. This can transform network architectures by consolidating network equipment types onto high-volume servers, switches, and storage to be located on-premise or in the cloud. As the number of devices per person grows, so does the complexity to manage them. We anticipate 4 potential capabilities with the introduction of 5G Core. First, 5G's introduction will likely accompany significant growth in the number of IoT devices per customer. Second, 5G will likely have to manage diverse connectivity needs from different types of connected devices, from low-power personal devices to autonomous vehicles that depend on uninterrupted connectivity. Third, 5G will likely have to manage a much more complex set of relationships between devices. And last, 5G will likely be further driven by the demand for an increasingly digital lifestyle. Turning to security, different players contribute to the overall security of the network, as well as impact the potential exposure to risk and vulnerabilities. Among them, 2 play an important role to the cybersecurity of 5G networks. Mobile network operators have a central decision-making role on the overall secure operation of their networks, while telecom equipment manufacturers are responsible for the provisioning of software and hardware required to operate networks. 5G use cases, sensors, and IoT devices will heavily rely on the security architecture of the underlying network to safeguard and protect operations with end-to-end security. Equipment suppliers will need to ensure that security standards are met on the hardware and software components integrated in the design of the 5G network. 5G offers service enablement that will likely change the way enterprises consume technology and will allow many new use cases based on cell without the need for traditional internet service providers. Wireless service providers will have their own network security protocols and air interfaces, relying on the built-in security implemented in the core network. Consumers will not only be able to distinguish, but will also be able to intersect and diverge between security and privacy. They will not rely entirely on the security provided by the network. The application developer ecosystem will be boosted, being able to leverage the power of 5G to create unique new applications for enterprises and consumers. Those that thoughtfully handle cyber risk will enjoy much better adoption. 5G does include some new built-in security features. This is helpful in securing the large attack surface of IoT devices, including smart meters and electric vehicles. As traditional supply chains are disrupted and turned into highly sophisticated digital value-creating chains, organizations will be more vulnerable to more potential points of failure. As these new challenges arise with the growth of 5G, aligning to the zero trust concept of least privilege as it relates to users, workloads, networks, and devices' access to data will ensure risk reduction across various areas of cybersecurity. With the implementation of zero trust framework, user and device access is restricted to parts of networks and to specific assigned tasks. Separation of exposure, combined with integrated monitoring and increased real-time visibility into threat landscapes, allows for preemptive identification of malicious activity inside and outside the network. Without agile defense techniques, the faster data transfer speeds of 5G will increase the risk of attacks. Zero Trust promotes real-time monitoring and visibility, combined with proactive technologies for better anticipation of malicious activity and the ability for preemptive action. With 5G increasing the number of devices connected to the internet, the expanded surface area raises the risk of exploitable vulnerabilities. Alignment to zero trust reduces the risk and impact of attacks through independence of user privileges and processes, resulting in a more resilient network environment. As 5G advances workforce mobility beyond the limits of local network perimeters, traditional perimeter defenses will no longer provide adequate protection. The dynamic defense technologies promoted by zero trust safeguards organizations regardless of where the connection originates. For instance, in the case of users, this can be seen through a dedicated privileged access management framework for crown jewels and sensitive data and applications. For data, this is evidenced by protection that matches the data domains, data groups, and data stewards based on business requirements. In the case of networks, this can be seen through an efficient path to resources for performance and support of mobile workforce and hybrid multi-cloud environments. With workloads, it is important to establish security guardrails throughout the application and workload lifecycle. With devices, consider device accountability that associates each device with a device owner. Global investments in 5G are expected to grow at a rapid pace over the next 5+ years, which will revolutionize the way energy is delivered across the electrical grid. 5G will allow for the extreme amounts of data transfer and storage required with smart grid. Smart grid modernization is the implementation of IoT devices on a substantial scale, which allows for massive connectivity of the grid. A key topic of 5G is Internet of Things. 5G's increased data transmission rates and lower latency allows for the adoption of smart devices in all aspects of the electrical grid. 5G improves authentication and real-time management of IoT devices. The biggest challenges of 5G IoT are third-party risk, increased entry points, and lack of governing standards for innovative IT solutions. The use of drones has been evolving in the utility industry, and 5G can ensure that there is a reliable connection with these devices. 5G and drones have the opportunity to decrease operations and maintenance costs, improve data quality, and enhance worker safety, among other benefits. Let's take a look at the overall 5G benefits and challenges across the energy supply chain. Some of the benefits: 5G will provide transmission system operators with real-time data and enhanced data availability, and it will create bidirectional grids, cutting losses and potentially lowering prices. 5G will also improve the management of distribution lines and allow for remote operation and real-time visibility. 5G offers privatized network and two-way authentication with enhanced encryption capabilities. There are some challenges. These include increased entry points to the electric infrastructure, the existence of old legacy devices and protocols, and the requirement for increased infrastructure. Organizations need to consider the new series of challenges and risks the global shift to 5G will present. Secure software development. With 5G networks increasingly based on software, risks related to major security flaws, such as those deriving from poor software development processes with suppliers, are increasingly significant. Business processes and system impacts. Organizations will need to access impact of 5G adoption on their data, infrastructure, and business processes and make required updates. Critical infrastructure. With new characteristics of 5G network architecture, certain pieces of network equipment or functions will become more sensitive, such as base stations or key technical network management functions. Governance and regulatory risk. With the adoption of any new technology, organizations will need to address regulatory and compliance implications. Network monitoring. 5G will enable more IoT devices and change traditional network architecture, requiring updates to network monitoring to promote availability and performance, integrity, and security. Threat intelligence. There are several functions performed by hardware traditionally, and those will be driven by software in 5G. Combined with the dramatic expansion in bandwidth, this will create new attack vectors requiring dynamic cyber protection. Software-defined networks. The move away from proprietary hardware to virtual SDNs means that networks could suddenly become more attractive to cyber attacks due to greater potential points of attack. It will be important to stay relevant in a fast-paced environment. With 5G as a rapidly emerging technology, it's important to enhance growth opportunities as an organization. Exponential amounts of data will need to be secured. The increased 5G adoption will lead to increased data from multiple devices, network traffic, and hyper-connected industries and systems. Attack surface management. There exists a risk of increased vulnerability with multiple devices and interfaces being deployed, leading to system non-compliance with infiltration and exfiltration attempts. Data privacy risks exist. More people and systems can be tracked, and eavesdropping is possible, leading to increased attack vectors. And supply chain digitization. As traditional supply chains are disrupted and turned into highly sophisticated digital value-creating chains, organizations are vulnerable to more potential points of failure. Thank you for joining today.
All right. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation, Wendy. And for our attendees, if you have any questions or would like to connect with Wendy, please feel free to reach out to me on Attendify. Here are some very quick housekeeping items before we dive into the startup presentations. I know everyone's excited about that. So very quickly, first of all, while we're streaming the event, you will be able to see who's online watching the video with you at the same time. Feel free to directly message them if you want. And second, we have startup virtual booths on the next slide. You will be able to connect with our startups. Just simply click on the startup booth icon on the menu bar on your left-hand side, and then you will be able to see the detailed information and the point of contact from that company. Feel free whenever you see any interest to connect with our startups. With all of that, really happy to welcome our first startup, Cresta, to deliver the first presentation. And Cresta helps sales and customer service teams to unlock their full potential. Cresta uncovers expert behaviors from customer conversations and amplify them with real-time assistance and coaching. Please welcome Cresta.
So Cresta was born out of the Stanford AI lab, and our co-founders, Zed and Tim, created it while they were getting their PhDs under Sebastian Thrun, their advisor, who's also our chairman. He's most notably known for co-founding Google Labs, Google X, which led to the start of the self-driving car project. We're backed by Andreessen Horowitz and Greylock Partners, and we're recruiting top AI talent from OpenAI, Google, Facebook, and have advisors from Intuit and AT&T, to name a few. And the problem we're really trying to solve is the fact that inconsistent agent performance is leaving opportunity on the table. So there's top performers and there's everyone else. And there's certain things these top performers do that make them stand out. And our AI is observing every conversation to learn what those things are and share them with the rest of the team using real-time assistance as your team is talking to customers. And what we've seen is a pretty dramatic improvement of key metrics, not only at the individual level, but also at the team and business level by sharing this expertise across the organization. And to do this, we offer a real-time intelligence layer for customer conversations. At our core is an expertise engine, which we'll talk about in a second. And we make the knowledge that we gather across your organization available through self-service capabilities like chatbots and IVR deflection tools. Our bread and butter is real-time agent assist and automation, which guides agents in real time as they're talking to customers with prompts on what to say, how to behave, and guidance on how to answer questions. We surface all of this for managers and supervisors in the form of coaching tools and dashboards. And then we also surface key business insights so you can see how frontline performance is driving business KPIs like average handle time and CSAT. And the way we work is we plug in, it's a really lightweight plugin on top of your existing architecture, and we start observing from all the different channels and data lakes that you have. So looking at your voice channel, your chat channel, pulling in data from your CRM and your knowledge base, stitching that together with conversations from your chatbot to really identify what are the top performing behaviors that we can help your team practice and exhibit on every interaction. And at our core, our IP and our bread and butter is really this expertise engine, which is outcome based. So you can select the outcome you're looking to drive, whether that's improved customer satisfaction, reduced handle time, improved call volume. And our platform can then observe and learn all of your conversations with this in mind. And through unstructured learning and unsupervised learning and looking through unstructured data, we can identify trends and what actions to take. And we're continuously optimizing these actions with a host of processes happening under the hood. And there's three key reasons that really set us apart from other solutions and what makes us stand out in the market and why people pick us. The first is this results-driven approach. And this is a patent-pending approach where we're able to select the outcome and everything else falls in place accordingly. So making it extremely simple for you, the customer. Second is this idea of personalized real-time assistance. So again, personalizing the coaching that we're providing in the moment as the conversation is happening is a huge differentiator for us. And last but not least, we're omni-channel. So we understand you communicate with customers across a host of channels, and our expertise engine easily plugs into each of those to augment and enhance the performance wherever you may talk to customers. And we've seen pretty significant results across sales, where we've seen improvements in conversion rate and average order value. But more specifically in customer care, we see improvements in efficiency in terms of speed and volume that teams can handle, and also significant improvement in customer satisfaction, a key metric and driver. And then we're also able to better retain customers through guidance on how to prevent revenue loss. And here's a quick view at one of our solutions, the agent assistance. And what you'll see is agents are presented with behavioral insights, coaching, suggested responses to customer questions, and the conversation at hand. And there's a huge value add here around being compliant, being able to stick on a specific call flow, and navigating an agent to the right call flow for each specific conversation. And we've had a lot of success with this approach. We've brought on some great customers across Porsche, Cox in the telecom industry, as well as SaaS companies, as well as large enterprises. And we hope we'll be able to talk to you and show the value we can add. Thank you.
All right, our next company, Apptio, has some exciting news to share. They're doing a global deployment of their technology across 20 plus countries at Capgemini, which is a French multinational corporation that provides consulting services. Great accomplishment, team. Let's welcome Apptio.
Hello, everyone. My name is Guy Mounier, CEO of Apptio. We are an advanced sales intelligence application that helps chief revenue officers execute on their new go-to-market strategy. When going after a new market, the average mid-sized B2B firms misses on average 10% of the new client segment or the new product cross-sell opportunity, leading to $6 trillion in total loss globally. Apptio is an intelligent phishing radar that enables a revenue team to find new clients, close pipeline clients, and upsell existing clients. It delivers value in 48 hours compared to an 18-month AI sales initiative custom build. It takes 45 minutes to configure your go-to-market playbook, and after 48 hours of signal mining, it reveals buyer intent and sales-ready opportunities. The signal mining engine is patent pending. It leverages 1 trillion real-time data points to generate 150 personalized external client signals, discover hidden revenue opportunities, and recommend best next action throughout the sales cycle. Our platform benefits the entire CRO team, digital marketing, sales development, account executives, and partner managers, delivering up to 3% increase in return on equity and building proprietary intelligence about your go-to-market best practices. Fast-growing SMBs and strategic business units must use a plug-and-play solution to leapfrog the competition. Apptio delivers value in 48 hours at a fraction of the cost and risks associated with the implementation of traditional predictive selling solutions. Our pricing is based on a freemium model. The CRO team can run a free go-to-market analysis to quantify the opportunity whitespace, detecting both opportunities already in their sales radar and ones that should be. When ready to execute on a new go-to-market, one can flip the switch to the team edition to convert the sales-ready opportunities to revenue, and then upgrade to the enterprise edition to boost utilization of your existing sales stack. And now let's play a quick 1-minute product demo.
Imagine if you can quickly discover new sales opportunities and reach your target revenue faster. Apptio provides a curated list of pre-qualified opportunities and presents reliable facts, helping you decide if it's the right fit. The application presents comprehensive signals that expose client engagements, informing you when opportunities are ready to be forecasted. You can quickly locate buyers' contact information and understand what influencers in your network can move the opportunity forward. Apptio continuously tracks risks, exposes engagements with competitors, and provides actionable insights so you can act promptly. Spend less time looking for new opportunities and focus on closing deals. Sign up today. Let opportunities find you.
Our ask today is threefold: meeting with Chief Revenue Officer at a fast-growing SMB or corporate SBU, finding a lead for our seed round, and looking for go-to-market consultants to co-sell our app. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Guy. I like your demo. And next we have VIZRU. VIZRU is the first true zero-code platform for developing autonomous applications that can think, decide, and act by themselves to power the future state of smart enterprises. Please welcome VIZRU.
VIZRU, we are a Bay Area startup. We were founded a little over 6 years ago, and within that time frame, we've expanded our teams into over 11 countries. We have offices in 4 of those countries, and our goal for 2021 is to have 1 office in Asia and 1 in Africa. So we're very bullish about the future, and we get a lot of confirmation from our customer that we're on the right path here. So a lot of exciting things to come for sure. But let me talk to you a little bit about what we do. At the core, our mission is simple. We want to democratize innovation. We want to be able to give the business team the power and the ability to design solutions that will help impact their business and drive revenue. And we do this by offering a zero-code studio to deliver autonomous applications. So what do we mean by autonomous application? These are solutions that can think, decide, and take actions based on the rules and the conditions that it's in. And these are core transformation solutions that we are designing and that we are deploying. And the really great thing about this is that these solutions are actually whiteboarded, designed, and deployed by the business team. And on average, most of our solutions will take about 4 to 6 weeks to get an MVP off the ground, and about 3 months for us to go live with any production-ready application. So let me dive a little bit into the platform so you can actually see what we get as a suite here. So we really believe that, let me move this over. This is a little distracting. We really believe that there are several entries, barriers of entries when we looked at solutioning of the past. One is that anytime you think about designing an application, whether that's a new supply chain management solution or a lending platform if you're a bank, or a new claims process if you're an insurance company, all these solutions come with a lot of technical debt. And these technical debt come in the form of codes, languages, and they make it so that not everybody can come in and design and deploy these solutions. For VIZRU, our entire stack, from the UI layer to the workflow to the integration hub, everything is an interface, and everything is very simple for you to come in, design, and deploy, right? A little over after the deployment strategy is how we build our solution. We follow a Scrum methodology, and our thought process is simple. Every 4 weeks, you should be able to see a new feature go live. Every 4 weeks, you should be able to test this and see if this is going to be production ready. And then we also give you the ability to launch these applications in a marketplace. These marketplaces can be for internal purposes, where you can launch applications across your organization so others can leverage and deploy or use, or you can launch this in a marketplace where you can commercialize this. We have customers who are building solutions within VIZRU so that they can commercialize this in the market that they're in. And then, of course, our studio comes with a machine, an AI and a machine learning layer where you can actually design ML models, or you can call different models into your ecosystem to make it even more intelligent. So now when we come, after that, we go into launching these solutions. We're Docker and Kubernetes compatible, which basically means for you, when you launch our solution, you can host it on any instance of your choice, but also managing these solutions for your IT or IT team becomes extremely easy, right? And then lastly, the application comes with an entire operating system. Well, what that means is the portability, version control, and the deployment strategy is neatly wrapped into our full stack solution. So when you get VIZRU, you get all of these layers and more. So let me talk to you a little bit about one of the use cases that VIZRU has worked on. BNP Paribas, they're one of the largest banks in the world. They're based in Paris, France, and they actually came to VIZRU with a unique idea. They want to transform the way that they run claims. And their previous problem is that it takes them about 6 to 8 weeks to manage the 8 different coverages of claims. Some of these are temporary disability, life claims, or death claims, and others. What we've been able to do is we've taken all of those steps and we reduced it down from 6 to 8 weeks down to 45 seconds. The entire claims process is managed by an intelligent bot. We parse the document, but we also go through the approval process and then finally into the payment process. So now this claim bot is live and it's in production in Europe right now with BNP. And this is one of our crown jewel of the deployment strategy. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about is we're a global company. We have global footprint. Some of the largest enterprises are using VIZRU to transform their day-to-day business, but also think about how and where they can go in the future. So if you're curious about what Zero Code can do for you, I'd love to have a conversation and we can have a chat about this afterward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Charlie. And now we move on to Hypatos. Hypatos was chosen by PwC Finance Transformation Advisory Team in a co-innovation effort to develop the accounts payable function for the future for a lighthouse client. Please welcome Hypatos.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cem. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at Hypatos. We serve global leaders in manufacturing, retail, real estate, and more than 300 software companies that white label our technology. We automate document processing for enterprises. Companies have low automation rates for documents transmitted as images, which leads to expensive operations and costly mistakes. For example, in accounts payable, 4 to 5% of payments are due to avoidable mistakes like duplicate or fraudulent documents, missing out on early payment discounts, and not noticing price hikes on line item level. This also leads to dissatisfaction for both suppliers and customers. Document processing takes place in invoice processing, travel and expense management, loan, especially mortgage underwriting, and insurance claims handling. Our solution automates these processes with a high accuracy deep learning based solution that provides end-to-end automation that is in production with global leaders and which can be implemented within weeks on cloud or on premise with no upfront fees. So how does our solution work? First, documents need to be understood. This is an old problem for us. We are a tech spin-out from an accounting services firm. We have the largest training data set with more than 10 million manually annotated entities. This is the result of 6 years of effort. We use deep learning ever since it started being used for documents. We use the latest technology. For word understanding, we rely on word embedding to identify the relations between words, similar to Google Translate's approach for understanding context. Getting data is good, but processing it automatically is a lot more interesting. We identify duplicates, validate documents with internal and external rules, and enrich them with machine learning. For example, we use machine learning to automate accounting. We do this at higher than human accuracy, 80% of the time, which saved a European media company almost €1 million per year. Let's see it in action. Our product team will show how our solution works on any document. And please reach out to me regarding process automation or if you are looking into investing in our Series A. Thank you.
Today, we would like to show how clients can use Hypatos Studio as a no-code document automation platform. Let's assume that there's a new document that we need to process. Residence permits, for example. We first need to create a project to train a deep learning model for this document type. Different OCR languages can be used, and it can be assigned to different users and models. Finally, the fields that need to be captured as part of this model need to be defined. There's already a list of predefined fields available, but you are also free to create customized fields. For our residence permit, we are defining the fields name, surname, and 2 ID fields. You can assign a data type to the field like amount, date, and many more. You can also set some fields as required. The project can now be created. To kick off, we first need to upload one document to train the model because we do not yet have a model for residence permits. Initially, we will not be able to extract any data. We need to guide the machine to build the model. You can see the document on the left-hand side and the fields that have been defined earlier on the right-hand side. The relevant fields on the document can be annotated by highlighting them in the document image. And that was all the annotation work that needed to be done in order to train the model. The model training will take about 1.5 to 2 minutes. During this time, the neural network weights are being recalculated to make sure that we can process similar documents. Please note that this training is not a training from scratch. Our models have already seen millions of documents, and we use that prior knowledge using transfer learning to build new accurate document models. I can see that the training is completed now. I will upload another document, and this time the model will make predictions and it will convert the image to machine-readable format. Here we can see that the OCR is being completed, and after that extraction is being completed. You can now see the second document that has been uploaded. As you can see, we can correctly extract all the details from this document, even though it looks significantly different than the document that we annotated before. This is because the model can generalize from a single example. This was a short demo with a simple document. We have pre-trained models for highly variable documents like orders, invoices, payment reminders. By annotating a few examples, users can train models for highly variable documents like medical records, rate sheets, and so on. Hypatos Studio is the no-code document automation platform for enterprises.
Great, we always love to see demos in our events. All right, next we have Hyro. Hyro deploys conversational assistants within days rather than months. Unlike traditional solutions, they can deploy conversational AI without vast volume of training data or predefined intents. Let's welcome Hyro.
Hey everyone, I'm Aaron Boers, VP of Marketing at Hyro, and today I'm thrilled to dish on our conversational AI solutions and their impact on the future of enterprise communications. Before we can discuss the problem we're solving in the conversational AI space, it's important to start with the opportunity in which the problem is actually rooted. According to Gartner, 50% of enterprises will spend more on conversational AI by 2021 than on traditional mobile app development. The conversational AI market size is expected to grow from $4.8 billion this past year to $13.9 billion by 2025. That's a compound annual growth rate of 21.9%. And that's the kind of hypergrowth that makes sense as we enter the new wave of digital disruption in the 2020s, which is voice and chat or making things conversational. While the demand for natural language powered conversational AI is known, and adoption is definitely on the rise, implementing these types of solutions often proves problematic for companies to develop on their own, mainly because of three reasons. They're expensive and time consuming. They require tons of upkeep, data, and expertise in the field, and they're really limited in scalability. One successful use case often doesn't transfer over to the next. At Hyro, we've prioritized frictionless deployment and maintenance processes to eliminate these pain points for enterprises. We roll out plug-and-play conversational AI interfaces by seamlessly ingesting information from various data sources, like databases, websites, and APIs, and then we funnel that content into our NLU engine. That is the fuel that actually powers our conversational interfaces across the entire digital journey, including chatbots on websites, voice assistants for call centers, and text bots for messaging platforms like SMS and WhatsApp. Now, you've probably interacted with many, if not all, of these types of interfaces before, but the majority of that engagement would have been with the solutions on the left, which are traditional chat and voice options built on predefined intents, playbooks, and flows. And it's those X and then Y scenarios that have created a stigma around chatbots being really limited in scope and often disappointing in practice. At Hyro, we use a hybrid approach of a knowledge graph and computational linguistics, modeling the English language instead of specific use cases. That means no integrations or heavy business efforts needed. It's easily scalable across various use cases and platforms, and it's context elastic so that conversations don't break. This type of approach is streamlining the access and consumption of organizational data at a critical period with the continuance of COVID-19. It's leading to an increase in customer engagement and satisfaction, better access to data, like filtering catalogs and answering FAQs, as well as process and workflow automation, like appointment scheduling and form filling. Massive organizations trust Hyro to deliver those benefits on a daily basis, including government agencies, real estate leaders, e-commerce entities, and healthcare organizations. So we've made real fans along the way. And for good reason, as Hyro is ultimately focused on driving business results that truly matter. Across our deployments, we're averaging a 46% increase in conversion rate based on the customized goals of our clients, a 600% increase in session duration as customers are more engaged, a 31% decrease in site bounce rate as we intercept customers on the digital doorstep. And then for call center deployments, we're averaging 20 to 60% savings versus manual support teams, 40% deflection rates to quickly handle first-line tasks with AI, and a 30% improvement in CSAT scores by serving the customer intelligently and fast. All of this is made possible by our three co-founders, Uri, our CTO from 8200, with experience spearheading Google Duplex, one of the most sophisticated conversational AI systems ever created, Israel, our CEO, also from 8200 and with a fierce background in engineering, product, and tech leadership, and Ram, our CIO, with almost a decade of machine learning techniques and cloud optimization under his belt. And our founders are backed by a team of conversational enthusiasts motivated to create the future of enterprise communications, one AI-powered conversation at a time. And here's our look at our team now. What we're looking to accomplish with Plug and Play is to find new opportunities and partnerships within the industries where the drive for digital transformation is strongest today. Our goals are to scale healthcare, connect with CIOs and CMIOs, expanding areas and establishing new relationships and integrations with the MRs like Epic, as well as to meet with enterprises looking to automate omni-channel support and service use cases, like streamlining scheduling processes and powering call centers with AI interfaces. And lastly, we're focused on expanding certain verticals, most notably real estate, government, insurance, automotive, and retail or e-commerce. We're excited for the road ahead, bringing better conversational AI to Plug and Play's community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Aaron. Move on, we have Workera. Upskilling and reskilling is very trendy, very hot topic during the COVID pandemic. And our next startup, Workera, is doing really well. They're an enterprise-force skills measurement, benchmarking, and upskilling solution focused on data and AI capabilities. And they have a very, very strong founding team. The CEO and co-founder Kian, he's a lecturer of computer science at Stanford, and he's also the founding member of deeplearning.ai. The COO, James Lee, Jimmy, he was the former VP of Global Operations at Udacity, and the chairman of Workera is Andrew In, who is globally recognized leader in AI and co-founder of Coursera. Please welcome Workera.
Hi, Plug and Play. I'm Kian Katanfour, CEO of Workera and lecturer of computer science at Stanford University, where I co-teach the deep learning class with Andrew Ng. I'd like to introduce you to Workera, a skills transformation platform that helps enterprises assess and upskill their workforce in AI and data. Let's start with the problem that Workera is solving. Today, there are record levels of investments and anxiety to develop AI and data skills. Global spending on AI will double over the next 4 years to 110 billion in 2024. AI skills shortage is cited by CIOs as the single most significant challenge for their organization. 79% of CEOs are concerned that a lack of essential workforce skills is a threat to the future growth of the organization. So understanding employee skills is the #1 issue for companies today. And that's surprising when you're thinking about the ocean of content available to enterprises to upskill their employees. There are more than 100,000 courses on Udemy, more than 4,000 on Coursera, 58 +90°, countless courses produced by brick-and-mortar universities and leading technology organizations like Google, IBM, or Microsoft. So why do 80% of employees still lack the skills they need to deliver on digital and data projects? It's because upskilling is still broken. The education problem has shifted from the availability of high-quality content to the navigation of that content. Organizations and employees alike need direction and a way to demonstrate progress and ROI. They're asking the following questions: what skills do my people have? What skills does my organization need? How effective are my people today? How do I upskill my people? And how do I demonstrate ROI and increase capabilities? Companies that are able to answer these questions are nearly twice as likely to succeed in a transformation. So let's now talk about Workera's solution. By leveraging the Workera team's industry expertise from starting Google Brain, building AI orgs at Baidu, deeplearning.ai, and the academic background from Stanford, we created an assessment evaluating more than 800 micro skills that are critical in AI projects. They focus both on highly technical competencies for engineers looking to upskill in AI and non-technical assessments helping organizations drive company-wide data and AI literacy. After the employees take the assessment, they will receive feedback and the organization can analyze their strengths and the areas for improvement. This leads to an individualized learning plan for each employee that is built using the world's leading content. And note that Workera is not a provider of content, but can help you select the providers and work with your favorite providers to help your employees navigate their catalog and complement it with free content. And finally, micro-assessments are used to validate learning and measure ROI. Organizations also have access to a dashboard that allow them to benchmark their teams against the best in class from a community of 1 million AI practitioners. Our assessment technology combines both the academic rigor with the industry expertise. It is very granular, and here is an example. While most content providers consider machine learning to be a skill, we consider it to be a domain. We break it down into 3 subdomains that are needed in AI projects, into topics, and into individual skills that are measured with items written by a team of experts. Our assessment follows a rigorous assembly process and their computerized adaptive tests. This means that employees beginning their AI journey will not get scared by advanced questions, and employees that are more proficient in certain areas won't be bored with easier questions. This increases engagement. Employees will see their results, their benchmark, the list of skills, as well as the content recommendation directly on their dashboard. They're essentially getting access to world-class mentorship. And to ensure the seamless experience and relevant recommendation, Workera integrates with your educational stack. This includes your learning management system, HRIS, or content providers, and also complements the paid learning with free resources that have been upvoted by the AI community. And so you may wonder what's the ROI. So here is an example. Imagine you're upskilling 2 actuaries that are working on an underwriting or risk modeling project. You don't have a granular view of their skills, so you send them through a Coursera data analyst professional certificate. And it turns out that although this content is good, it only covers 30 of the 90 skills that actuary 1 actually needed, and 20 out of the 60 skills for the second actuary. It's also a super long course, totaling 129 hours for each actuary, whose time is extremely valuable. Instead, Workera gives you a detailed view of their skills. You know that Actuary 1 has most of the statistic foundations and Actuary 2 has the machine learning foundation. They should both focus their learning on more advanced content, although on different content. We recommend 3 longer Udemy courses, 1 on data science, 1 on machine learning, and 1 on math, as well as 1 longer course on math for the second actuary, with 2 sets of free reading materials. To date, Workera, so this allows you to increase the number of skills that are built and decrease the time that it takes to build those for better results. Workera has now 2 enterprise customers, 2 more in contract stages, and close to 12 active pilots. The momentum is high, and we're excited about the journey ahead. We would be honored to have a discussion with your team to see how we can assist with your workforce upskilling strategy. We normally work with CEOs, CIOs, and CHROs, as well as business unit leaders and heads of data and AI academies.
Thank you, Kian. And again, if you would love to connect with our startups, they are in their virtual booths where you can find the point of contact and send a direct message. Or if they're available right now online, you can even shoot them a video call. Okay, move on. We have Leap Year. Leap Year is the world's first platform for differentially private reporting, analytics, and machine learning. Take it over, Garrett.
Hey, this is Garrett Long from Leap Year Technologies. I'm our Chief Marketing Officer, and I'm here to present our pitch today to the Summer Summit for Plug and Play. First, a thanks to Plug and Play for having us in this batch 7. We really appreciated the chance to get to know the team, and the experience was wonderful. So thanks very much for that. Now, on to about Leap Year. Leap Year is a software provider who's focused on unlocking value from sensitive data. We see broad changes in the world today affecting how we can use data, especially sensitive data. This idea that our data has a TAM, but we are seeing headwinds that compress that total available value for the data sets we have. Regulations like HIPAA and GDPR and client or public expectations are making it increasingly difficult to extract all the value from the data we possess. The impact of these headwinds are real. We see time delays from business processes and also those same processes reducing data content, restricting the best outcomes for our firms. And we also see that traditional processes don't solve for scale. We kind of jump on the hamster wheel and have to time and again figure out how to best protect our sensitive data before we can use it. And I think there's really a false choice here, right? We've been kind of educated that there's a choice. If I want privacy, I must reduce value, right? I have this negative correlation, and this negative correlation means I must trade off between safety and value. And there's real impact when we make this trade-off. If we aggregate a data set to protect privacy, we remove important signals. In this example, we have a 3-digit zip code map of California on the left and a 5-digit zip code map on the right. Now, if we're doing a hospital readmissions rate analysis on this data, we can clearly see that on the left, we will miss important signals in our community of patients. And what's worse is that these methods to protect privacy are subject to attack. Almost every method, including aggregation, anonymization, and de-identification, have been attacked successfully in the field and just result in re-identification of our data, creating problems for our companies. So I'm here to say that leap year really changes the paradigm. We are really pushing the envelope of extracting both data value and data privacy. We are in market today with solutions across banking and capital markets, healthcare and life sciences, as well as direct data monetization efforts. We are a team of over 50, and we're through our Series B round of financing, and we've been at this for 5 years, generating really unique software and capabilities for this problem. So why us? We accelerate time to market for our data by replacing business process with software. We ensure no data is removed from data sets, ensuring maximum value. And we can also establish platform level certification and use, which means we can jump off the hamster wheel and really scale our efforts. So traditional workflows look like this. We grab a new data table to our company. We have to do several steps. We must understand it, set entitlements, determine sensitivity, and modify that data for use. Unfortunately, that happens again for a new and different data set. And even worse, if I want to combine these two data sets in some way when they're sensitive, I may have to again reprocess this data for use. This retriggering of workflows is simply an unacceptable amount of work to do as we scale our initiatives with data. So what Leap Year does instead is we bring software to this problem. We bring a way to take data and instead of changing the data, bring the privacy to the computation level itself. The platform is certified for use. The platform provides the protection and allows immediate high value access to data. We do this by installing on-premises. We are an on-premises cloud-ready piece of software. We don't take data from our data owners. And we provide a privacy-preserving access through our API, which allows users to see schemas, perform analyses, build models, but prevents them from seeing sensitive information, extracting information, or doing privacy attacks on data sets. Our customers have used this software to do amazing things. We have capital markets teams accessing and sharing information from very sensitive transactional data sets to create real value, real P&L impact for our clients. We have credit card networks who are looking across merchant and bank transactions, creating high value benchmark products that replace dropped information with our software and create higher value for their clients. And finally, we have data monetization, where Leap Year is enabling safe and compliant commercialization of data and having really massive impacts here. We're seeing almost over 9-figure business impacts by releasing this data to the market. So finally, Leap Year powers the data sharing economy. We think the effects of our platform can't be understated. We're optimizing the trade-offs of value and privacy. And I look forward to your questions. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Garant. Now move on, we have Appboxo. Appboxo is from Singapore, and I really love how international and diversified our startup community is at Plug and Play. Appboxo is a super app platform that allows companies to deliver and integrate full screen native-like mini apps and monetize the user base of these apps. All right, let's go ahead and check it out.
Hi, my name is Kanye, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Appboxo. And today, I want to tell you about Super App. Super App is an app that has many different services accessible directly within one app. WeChat is often called the Super App of China, but other Chinese companies also decided to catch up, and now China has a number of very successful super apps. In WeChat, you can book cinema tickets, flight tickets, buy clothes, you can book a taxi, and in fact, WeChat has 2 million services accessible directly in it. And 99% of these services are offered by third parties. And to power these 2 million services, WeChat and other Chinese giants like Alipay and Baidu developed a special development framework called mini programs. Mini programs act like normal apps, but you don't need to download them from the App Store, and they're accessible instantly within WeChat or Alipay apps. And these mini programs collectively have more than 1 billion monthly active users and generated 240 billion in gross transaction volume last year. In the rest of the world, more and more companies are jumping into a super app trend. Even Uber announced their new super app strategy, and apps in other verticals such as e-commerce, travel, and finance start to offer more and more third-party services. And the way they do it is by simply using in-app browsers, which is a really bad user experience. The other way to integrate is through deep API integration. But for those developers who are here, you may know that it is really time-consuming and costly. So the problem is, businesses want to offer more third-party services to their customers, but most of them can't build mini programs technology in-house. And the businesses I talk about are the largest consumer apps in the world. So we have decided to help them, introducing Appboxo, super app platform. We're a Singapore-based company backed by Founders Fund, 500 startups, and Plug and Play. Using our solution, any app can easily become a super app and start offering multiple third-party services, and each service can become a beautiful full-screen mini app. We have developed a set of developer tools that can offer native-like user experience of mini apps. With one line of code, developers can deploy our software, and that's it, they can start launching mini apps. They can then go to the showroom, which is an app store for mini apps, choose the mini app, and integrate it in a couple of clicks. We have also created a feature called Appboxo Connect. With this feature, users no longer need to create or log in into an account in each service and can jump into transaction screens straight away. Finally, we have created an integration to existing e-commerce systems such as Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce to automatically convert any merchants on these platforms into mini apps. This unlocks a potential merchant base of 2 million merchants easily deployable as mini apps within any app. The benefits that Appboxo brings are increased revenue from new services, increased retention of your app, and enhanced functionality for your users. So far, we have made partnerships with major apps in Southeast Asia and India with total user base of 500 million users, and now ready to expand our partnerships further. If you have an app and you want to increase engagement, we can turn your app into a super app. At the same time, if you have a service that needs more high-quality traffic, Appboxo can build you the mini app and integrate it in other super apps. Overall, we are focusing on Southeast Asia first, but our plan is to move to other regions rapidly and enable more apps across the world to become super apps. If you'd like to learn more about Appboxo, please send me an email. Thank you for your time.
Great. Okay, move on. We have Koyeb. Koyeb is based in Paris, and it is the serverless company delivering a next generation platform to quickly deploy and run apps globally. Let's check it out. Welcome to our Summer Summit.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. I'm Jan, the CEO and co-founder of Koyeb, and we are providing the fastest way to deploy applications globally with the Koyeb serverless platform. We created Koyeb in 2019 with my two co-founders after spending the last decade developing cloud service providers, including Scaleway, which is the second largest European provider. We raised a pre-seed round of $1.6 million from leading investors and angels from the cloud industry. As you know, cloud computing is core to our lives. It's essential in our day-to-day life, and it affects all businesses. During the last year, we've seen a massive increase in needs and usage of cloud computing infrastructure, and it's not going away soon. I personally spent the last 10 years building cloud service providers, and cloud computing has completely changed the way we deal with infrastructure. In the last 20 years, the number of people needed to build a software company has dramatically decreased. We believe that serverless is the next wave. It will again simplify IT operations and empower organizations. But today, application deployments and operations are still a nightmare. It's a time-consuming process which requires highly qualified engineers, and engineers are facing a highly complex environment. Cloud infrastructure is a challenge for everybody in the organization. CIOs, CEOs, and business stakeholders suffer from the complexity which impacts time to market. CTOs and engineering managers have a hard time scaling with the lack of cloud engineers on the market. Hiring DevOps and site reliability engineers is hard and costly. Developers do not have the knowledge to build and maintain and scale infrastructure. That's why we are building the fastest way to deploy applications globally. We believe that businesses need what we call the true serverless experience. Engineers need fast and continuous deployments with no cloud provider-specific technology. Engineering leaders want resiliency and scalability without the complexity of infrastructure management. Business leaders want a faster time to market with sustainable engineering and cloud costs. At Koyeb, we provide engineering organizations with an efficient way to deploy web applications, APIs, and microservices, so there is no infrastructure maintenance required. Engineers can deploy their application using technologies they know and without any cloud-specific technology. We provide native auto-scaling for all your HTTP applications and event-driven workloads. All of this is available in multiple regions worldwide. The Koyeb Serverless Platform allows you to run all your services, including web applications, APIs and microservices, background workers, and event-driven workloads. Behind the scenes, we are using our own orchestration technology to deploy and run your applications. The platform has been designed with security and performance in mind. The platform provides fast boot times, and we are running micro VMs directly on bundle to maximize performance. We provide a simple pay-as-you-go pricing based on the compute resources you use. We only charge you when your applications are running, depending on how many seconds they run. Our platform is available in 10 core locations, and our edge network is composed of 55 locations. We provide enterprises with a powerful solution for multi-region and multi-cloud deployments. Enterprise customers can benefit from reserved zones in specific countries with the serverless platform of Koyeb running on the cloud of their choice. By default, Koyeb runs on bundle providers like EconixMail or IBM Cloud, but we also support running on AWS, GCP, and Azure. This flexibility lets you respect sovereignty and compliance requirements while maintaining a unified and completely managed experience to deploy worldwide. 500 developers and businesses deploy on Koyeb to reduce operational complexity and scale faster. SaaS providers simplify the hosting and deployment of their APIs and web apps with our built-in continuous deployment and auto-scaling. Large companies remove Kubernetes and deploy faster with Koyeb. Alright, that's it for today. If you want to hear more, feel free to contact me. Thank you very much and see you later.
Thank you, Yan, and thank you, Koyeb. And again, our startups are in their virtual booths. So if you love to connect with them or learn more about their offerings, please go there and send them a direct message. And this is truly the beautiful part of online networking where anybody can dial in from anywhere in the world. So we can all connect freely. Okay, move on. We have UNUM ID. UNUM ID is the world's first shareified as in shared and verified identity network. It was founded by two brothers out of Stanford, Liam and Aiden, and they're backed by Dripper Associates and Samsung Next, and were named a TechCrunch top pick for privacy and security. Let's check out UNUM ID.
This is me logging into the Acme website using Acme's mobile app. Painless multi-factor authentication in a fraction of a second with no password. Modern enterprises manage thousands of employees, millions of users, and billions of transactions across dozens of geographies. Regulations and business needs force them to collect vast amounts of sensitive personal data and store it in central databases. But data breaches are up nearly 300% year over year. And 4 of 5 of them are caused by compromised passwords, which attackers obtain through social engineering attacks like SIM swapping and phishing. This is a club you don't want to join. The COVID-19 pandemic has dramatically worsened these problems. Users are interacting with companies online more than ever before, and yet today, authentication is a disaster. UNUM ID has a solution. The end of, I better not tell you my password. Painless multi-factor authentication with no shared secrets. You just add our software to your mobile app, and it works behind the scenes on top of your existing infrastructure. To log in, the user simply uses their phone and passes a biometric check. In the background, UNUM ID uses asymmetric cryptography tied to the secure hardware of the user's phone. There's really nothing an attacker can do. Phishing doesn't work because there's nothing to phish, no password or other shared secret. Even better, the authentication is bidirectional. You authenticate the user, and the user also authenticates you. SIM swapping fails too. The user's identity is tied to their physical phone, not their phone number. So redirecting their phone number doesn't do anything. It's the convenience of Face ID everywhere, with even higher security, and it works for both users and employees across all of their devices and workstations. It even works on support calls and in person. Your kids don't know what floppy disks are. Their kids won't know what passwords are. As a data-driven modern enterprise, you're sitting on a gold mine, not just of money, but of verified personal data. Everyone wants it, both bad actors and other companies who need faster user onboarding. We just showed you how UNUM ID helps you protect the gold from theft through passwordless authentication. Now we'll show you how UNUM ID lets you put the gold to use. We call it sharified identity. Digital identity today is a mess. IAM systems are siloed. Active and Active Directory instances often don't talk to each other, leading to fragmented user and employee accounts. Verifying identity online is expensive, slow, and very prone to fraud, which leads to low account opening rates and churn. And especially with COVID-19, large enterprises are being outcompeted by small startups with mobile-first solutions. UNUM ID transforms your mobile app into a virtual ID card. It securely stores a person's identity data and lets them instantly share it across business units, partners, and beyond. It's a single source of truth for who a user or employee is. Let's see this in action. To create an account with this fintech company, Hooli, normally I'd have to go through manual data entry and a KYC verification process that would take anywhere from 10 minutes to several days. But with UNUM ID, I can create an account instantly. I just click Verify with Acme and pass a biometric check in the Acme app. This has all of the security benefits of passwordless authentication we showed you before, but now I'm sharing much richer data, in this case, a full KYC verification. It's like login with Google and login with Facebook. A user would never delete their Google account because it's the access point for so many of the services they use. With UNUM ID, you can put Verify with your company buttons all over the web, with complete control over where your users can and can't share their data. Importantly, each user stores their own data on their device. The data is only shared with their full consent, and UNUM ID never has access to it. We built UNUM ID for a GDPR world. UNUM ID makes you essential far beyond your niche. It puts your goldmine of verified personal data to use. I founded UNUM ID with my brother Aiden while both of us were at Stanford. We left to build this company because we believe digital identity will unlock a vast new wave of transformation. We have an amazing group of advisors, and we're backed by Samsung, Draper Associates, Stanford professors, Franklin Templeton, and many more. What could you do with UNUM ID? Join us. Sharified identity is the future.
Thank you, Liam. All right, we're getting to the end of our startup presentations. And next we have Panaseer. Earlier this year, PwC joined forces with Panaseer team to deliver automated executive cyber risk reporting. Now they're bringing the solution to the UK market together. Congratulations for the achievement, and let's welcome Panaseer.
Hi, I'm Nick Whitfield. I'm the founder and chief seer at Panaseer. I'm going to talk to you today about a major problem there is in the enterprise, and that is with cybersecurity measurement. When I was speaking to a CISO recently at one of the major banks in Canada, he said, "What keeps me up at night? I think our controls are switched on and effective when they're not, and we get breached as a result." And what he's talking about here is a problem with measuring whether their controls are effective. And he summed it up by saying, security metrics are the bane of my life. Security measurement challenges are affecting all security domains. So for example, in asset management, we're finding it hard to identify and measure all of our assets. We can't measure vulnerabilities effectively. We can't measure the average time to disable lever accounts. We can't identify and measure our riskiest users based on multiple factors. We can't measure our EDR deployment coverage, and so on and so forth. Across all areas of security, there are more and more measurement challenges every day. And I suppose it's no wonder then that for an average security team in the enterprise, more than a third of their time is spent moving data, joining data, cleaning data, trying to represent data in different visual formats so that they can communicate with their stakeholder groups. Unfortunately, the result of that, it doesn't look effective. In our recent survey, 89% of boards said they were concerned about the visibility and insight into security data. So we're spending more than a third of our time on this, but achieving a poor result. And it's not just the board, of course, the CISO needs the best data possible to report on security because it's their accountability. Security teams are struggling. Lines of business don't have the information they need to make good decisions, and the list goes on and on and on. And if you ask any security team, they'll tell you they're inundated with requests for information around security measurement. And this is where Panaseer fits in. Panaseer is a platform which sits across all areas of security, brings data together in an automatic way to provide high quality metrics and measurement to key stakeholders who need that information to make effective decisions. How does the platform work? Well, it doesn't deploy any probes, agents, or scanners because most companies have bought a lot of those already. The platform hooks into the APIs for all current security tools and IT systems. It then does the heavy lifting. So a process called entity resolution correlates across all of those data sets and creates a nice, clean, organized, verifiable data set stored in a common information model that is made available for the production of metrics, which can be provided to any of the key stakeholders that you have, and importantly, in any of the mature security frameworks that are commonly used for reporting. And so each of these stakeholders gets a nice, clean, live dashboard of the information concerning assets and controls that are relevant to their area of the business, whether they're in IT, whether they're in the business, in security, or in risk. They get a high quality metric. And this is where we've put a lot of effort into the platform to make sure that the information that is being provided has provenance, auditability, the right level of detail, and so can be trusted by any of the stakeholders who need this information. So overall, this process of continuous controls monitoring, as it's being called in the industry, reduces risk overall because it uplifts all of the controls that you have in the organization. It increases the benefit that you're getting from all the investments that you've made in security and reduces significantly the manual effort required to create reports for key stakeholders. And it's really a significant transition moving from a point in time manual view of the world to an always on automatic, high quality, unified version of the truth that all stakeholders are using. We have a lot of happy customers. We sell predominantly to enterprises in highly regulated organizations. And as you can see, CISOs believe it's the first product any CISO should buy because it gives them excellent data from day one, which they can use to organize their priorities. And another CISO, Rob Hyde, saying that it's the last product he would switch off because it gives him the visibility and measurement that he needs in order to run security. As a business, we had a very successful 2020. We grew our revenue by 3.3 times year on year. And the CCM category that I mentioned has been recognized by Gartner in its risk management hype cycle. We've signed some excellent new client logos. That's really the summary from the business point of view. So if you have any interest or any questions, please do get in touch. It's nick.whitfield@panaseer.com.
All right, last but not least, we have Illusive. I like that we started the event with a keynote talking about cybersecurity in 5G era, and we wrap up the event with a cybersecurity startup presentation. And despite significant investments, it's still difficult to see and drop attackers moving inside your environment. Illusive identifies your weakest links and eliminates risky pathways and credentials, so you can defeat the attackers and actually beat the red team. Let's check it out.
Hello, I'm Ofer Israeli. I'm the founder and CEO of Illusive. Today, we're going to assume compromise. Assume you have an attacker inside your environment, and how do we stop that attacker from accessing your most important assets? So I'll start off by stating the obvious. Something in the security world is broken. With these recent attacks and many more that you're all well aware of, something is not working. And in our humble opinion, the reason for that is that we've taken a reactive approach to security. We've always looked at what happened in the past, and we've tried to model and look for similar things today. That, by definition, means we're playing catch up. The attacker has the upper hand. And so we built Illusive to flip that asymmetrical situation, to take a proactive approach and be the ones that are setting the tables and have the attackers react to us instead of us reacting to them. We've done so by building the Illusive Active Defense product suite, which essentially does three things. First of all, we take the organization's internal attack surface and we shrink that internal attack surface to a bare minimum. Secondly, we create the illusion of an expanded attack surface and layer deceptive information that lead the attacker to think there's more opportunities than there are. And then finally, we accelerate the incident response process so organizations can actually handle what's coming at them. All of this has been promoted and pushed pretty strongly with MITRE off of their MITRE Shield or Active Defense framework over these last few months. Attack Surface Manager essentially says, if we look at all of the endpoints and servers you may have, there's a lot of information we're leaving behind that doesn't serve the business at all, but presents a great opportunity for an attacker to propagate and move internally. Think about that domain admin credential cached in some random machine's memory. Those things happen all the time, and that's exactly what attackers utilize to move laterally across the environment. So Attack Surface Manager surveys all of the endpoints and servers and gives the organization visibility into those issues and goes further to actually take action and remediate those issues in a continuous fashion. By doing so, we keep the attack surface at a bare minimum. Attack detection system complements that with going back to those same endpoints and servers and now planting deceptive pieces of information in those same very locations. So if I talked about that domain admin credential, the real one won't be there, but deceptive domain admin credentials will be there. If the attacker is to make a mistake and use any of these deceptions, which all look real and feel real, then he's been detected on the spot. This has been vetted against 130 red teams of various different sorts, and we have a 100% win rate. We have not yet had a case where red team was able to overcome the solution. This has been up against Department of Defense and Microsoft and Mandiant and Cisco and many others, as you can see at the bottom of the slide here. And we're super proud of the fact that it showed that efficacy 100% of the time. And finally, Attack Intelligence System is all about accelerating the incident response process. So when there's a compromised machine, we'll reach out to it and we'll grab deep telemetry information and present it in a very digestible way. And this allows the SOC analyst to very rapidly make a decision if this is an incident worth investigating or something they should throw out altogether. Our customers report anywhere between 60 to 90% reduction analyst investigation time. The whole technology in all of these offerings are delivered in an agentless fashion, so it's fast and easy to stand up and can be operationalized quite simply. We've helped our customers in various different occasions, various different types of attackers. One interesting example I'll present here is a national ISP, where prior to Illusive being deployed, there was a nation-state attacker inside that environment for 11 months. Illusive, the company did not know about it. Illusive was deployed, and within a few days, the attacker had utilized one of our web-based deceptions. When we investigated, we found out this attacker was there for those 11 months, traversed 6 segregated networks, left a web shell on the outside, Presumably, this is China behind the attack. And what's interesting is that the ISP was not the target, but rather the military being a customer of that ISP. So obviously, dramatic impact, not only to the company, but the country as a whole, should this attack have not been unveiled. Illusive is about 6 years old. We've raised about $60 million. Some of our investors are listed here. We serve quite a wide variety of customers, but our focus is the global 2,000 companies. We serve many of the biggest banks in the world, insurance companies, pharma companies, and so on and so forth, and work with a broad ecosystem of technology partners to deliver the best security together. Thank you for your time. I'm honored to be here and look forward to discussing further with you.
All right, thank you. And that concludes our startup presentations for today. And again, we have all of our startups in the startup virtual booths. If you would like to learn more about their solutions or connect with them, please go there and visit them. And I believe we have 2 more startups from the international team joining us today as well. So please go and check out and meet with them in their booths. Okay, and my team and I, we're also on Attendify. We have our own booths as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop by, or if you just want to come over and say hi, we would love to chat with you. Before we move on to closing remarks, I would like to give a very special thanks to all of our startups and corporate partners for making it happen today. And we really appreciate your support along the way. And for our friends who celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival today, I hope you have a beautiful time with your beloved ones. Okay, now up next, I'm happy to welcome my colleague, our co-founder of Enterprise Tech program, to wrap up the day. Thank you everyone for joining, and take over, Nate.
All right, everyone, that wraps up the content portion of the summit. Thank you all so much for being here. As you guys may know, I'm Nate Hinman, co-director of Enterprise Tech with Connie. Up next, we have a networking session, so please join that to speak with your peers as well as some of the startups that presented today. We look forward to having some great conversations with you, and thanks again for being here. Have a good one.
How do you track your team's innovation efforts? However that is, we've got an easier way. Let us introduce Playbook. Playbook is Plug and Play's innovation software. It is an exclusive tool only available for our ecosystem's corporate partners. With it, you and your team will be able to browse your curated startups database, create, discover, and rate lists of startups, track your engagement, pilots, and investments, analyze data from the tech ecosystem, organize private sessions with select startups, and so much more. Hundreds of corporations count on Playbook to empower their innovation journey. Get in touch to start using Playbook today.